G'day and welcome to the Hunting Connection podcast. My name is Zach Williams and I am your host. Here we'll connect you with hunters, fishers and outdoor enthusiasts from around the globe. This podcast will share hunting and fishing stories including past experiences and tackle the tough hunting stereotypes our community faces. We hope to be a positive influence to those outside the community while also having a laugh along the way. Hope you enjoy the podcast. G'day and welcome to another episode of Hunting Connection podcast. On today's episode, I am joined by Graham from Hunting Australia. How you going, mate?
Good, mate. How are you?
That's good. Yeah, good. We were just chatting before that. Went and checked out a small property. Thanks to you. The big wide world of the web.
That's it.
Something's popped up and you're like, oh, I just know the guy. So yeah, went and checked out that this morning. It could be a nice little rut property, I reckon.
Yep. Yeah, little gems pop up in the group all the time. Like I've got another one that if I ever head out that way, I might just go to. But yeah, I was just looking through the comments and this guy I don't even know what the post was about, but he just wrote on there like, oh, I've got deer and they're a problem or something. And I was like, no, I like hunting deer. So I kind of wrote to him myself, like, hey, like, where are you? He's like, oh, I'm in South Australia. I'm like, oh, I know the guy. There's only one guy that I know that hunts in South Australia. And I was like, he'll be the man for the job. So yeah, he was pretty cagey, that guy. But I sort of chatted to him a bit about, I guess, the problems he's having, and he's got problems with poachers, and he's got deer coming through and all that. So chatted to him a bit and sort of turned him around to say, like, well, if you've got a good ethical hunter on there, they'll keep an eye out and they'll protect your property and all that. And yeah, then he was like, oh, okay, and send him through, and then off you went, and then it was all up to you then.
Yeah, thank you for that. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, I remember the post you tagged me in when it happened, and it was a South Australian looking for a place to hunt that was just starting out, and he commented on it, how he was having issues with deer and poachers at the same time. So yeah, got chatting to him about that today, and yeah, man, it's a lot, like I told you before the podcast, he's been dealing with some crazy shit from some crazy poachers. Some guys that live near him and they're just giving him and his property hell, which is devastating. Like it was sad to hear, and I'm just like, hey mate, they're not hunters, like they're just douchebags, unfortunately, and they give guys like us a bad name. And he would seem very, very happy to have someone out there, and he could see the passion hear the passion in my voice and see the passion. And for someone that doesn't hunt, he sure knew a lot about deer, which was really cool. He had some real intimate moments with deer on his property, which was pretty cool to hear. And, he's like describing the big bucks that crawl through. I'm like, whoa, sounds good.
Nice. Yeah, it sounded like it's just a little place, but that's the thing. Like, I've had so much success just helping people with problems. That's like the easiest way. Like, find someone, he's got two problems. He's got deer and he's got poachers. So like, if you can help solve those two problems for him, man, they love you so much. And then the opportunity's there, like the deer in the area, then you get a good name, and then they start, hey, well, the guy next door, his place is a bit bigger and he's got deer as well. And then you start to spread. Like, I got a street now that I'm on. There's like 4 or 5 properties on one street. Like,
that's awesome.
I'm saying no to some now. Like, I just can't keep up, but the street is nice because you can just go one. She's got lambs out at the moment, so I'm going after foxes. No foxes, moving on the next property. Go there, hit up some rabbits, go to the next one, pigs and deer at the last property. Like, that's pretty fun. And then you can kind of put these little blocks together and you've got a good little hunting ground then. I think people overlook the little blocks. I love them.
Yeah, definitely. He's said he's had a couple guys come out over the past few years, and these guys seem like they are used to hunting the bigger blocks that are open, and the deer are out in the middle of the paddock, feeding back towards scrub or feeding out of scrub into the paddocks, and they've just given up hunting his property because it's such a dense little property. But I got
Yep.
a tree stand, so I'll go set that up there just before the rut next year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I don't have too many that are. I've got areas that are quite dense like that, but yeah, that's a different block to what I've hunted as well. But yeah, we were messaging about it, and I was thinking, yeah, like you could find some real solid game trails in there, some bedding areas. Like they feel really safe in that block, coming in, just hiding, resting up, feeding, and yeah, if you find those scrapes or those areas, like you're onto it. Yeah, I reckon it'd be a cool little spot.
yeah, it's a real weird shaped block, and the win will be a tough one to judge, especially like if I do set a tree stand up there. There's a nice little pine tree right in the middle of the property, but it's like in one gully just above where three gullies meet together, so that there'll be a good spot for movement.
Yeah,
But just that getting that wind right will be a pain in the ass. But I can access the property on two sides, which is really good. But like I said at the start of the start, well, not at the start, but before we got started, there's no need for the poaching side of stuff. Like if these guys actually came up and door knocked and asked and got chatting to him and were polite and respectful, he probably would have given them access to the property. So that's just one thing to keep in mind for everyone listening. I assume everyone that listens is a ethical hunter and not a poacher. So just if you don't have access, go knock on the door, go chat to them. Don't just push your way through and make the property owners feel unsafe on their own land.
yeah, and it stuffs it up for everyone else. Like, and that's how I've got properties. Like, and going back to these little blocks, these little people, like these small scale farmers, are so happy to have you on because everyone ignores them.
Yeah,
They're like, oh, there's nothing there, and I wasn't interested either when I started chatting to him, like, oh, 40 acres, you don't, it's just paddocks. And it's like, I don't really care about shooting foxes that much. Like, I'll do it, but it doesn't really interest me
yeah,
that much. But yeah. And then she's, oh, well, the lady down the road's got rabbits. Oh, cool. I'm like, rabbits are fun. And then I'm chatting to that lady with my daughter because my daughter's pretty cute and she loves animals. So I bring her with me and she gets the farmer on side pretty quick because she's young and they love to show her around. And we're doing that. And then she said, well, my neighbour across the road has problems with deer and pigs. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I like that. And then out she comes in her car and she's like, I'll introduce you now. And I'm perfect. So quick hello. And then she was sort of a bit cagey. And then it took me a bit of going back and forth. And I just said, I'll come out and, chat to me, see what you think. And we did that. And then I was on. And then, yeah, she messaged her family and they were blown away. Like, have you got someone? You've got a hunter. Like, we never thought you would ever put someone in there. And I was like, yes, it's like all those little blocks, 20 acres, 40 acres. And that's what got me onto the big one, and
that's
that
awesome.
property is like, that's prime. That's sort of, the land because this is a very similar area to where you got your big red deer. And that area is very sought after area.
It is.
And this is one where if you went down this road early enough in the morning, you'd see the deer every day. Like, I'm sure hundreds of people have knocked on her door, but all you had to do was help out the neighbour with the little rabbit problem, and shoot a rabbit every time, and then you're on the big block.
Yeah.
It's interesting how it works. Those little referrals, just being a good person and helping out pays off big time.
Yeah, it can be very intimidating for those, well, any farmer, but especially those small scale property owners, the hobby farmers. And, this guy's just got the acreage. It's all heritage listed land. So he's not really doing much with it. It's just like his own little private conservation park pretty much, which is how he treats it. And it's really cool. But, it's just, you got to get chatting, friendly, respectful. I felt bad because it's my first time meeting him today, and I messaged him saying, "Oh, you want to meet up? I could come out this morning." And he goes, "All right, yeah, come out, bring your rifle, and come check it out." So the first time meeting him, I'm in camo,
Nice.
which is what I say not to do when you
Yeah.
when you go into properties for the first time. But he was pretty insistent on me getting out and having a look, and he was pretty excited to hear what I thought of the property, and he explained it all, where all these little bits are, and I found them all, and conveyed that back to him, and yeah, he was stoked. So
Yeah, and like that guy, like he's not a hunter, and his whole opinion now of hunters is changed just because of you now. Like he's got a good person on there. He's got a lot of confidence in us, and that'll move on. If that property's no good for you, or if you finish up there and someone else comes along, like he'll have a different view of who we are and what we do and what we're about. And unfortunately, that was tainted by these people. But I think, yeah, we've turned him around now, and I think that's what we're doing. Like that's what it's about, is showing people like we are making a difference. We're not scary, crazy dudes with guns and bows and modern dogs.
yeah.
We're normal people. We've got normal jobs. We've just got a hobby that we like doing.
Yeah, that's it. I said to you that I went and recorded a podcast afterwards about a guy that did a short, 10 minutes ish YouTube video about how he was upset about bow hunting in South Australia, being banned. And this is just a small scale homesteader type guy that grows all his own fruit and vegetables, and started just picking up a bow and shooting bunnies around the place for just that extra bit of protein. Like he wasn't confident enough to go chase deer or anything like that, but he was quite confident in taking rabbits with a bow. And he was devastated, and he kind of sits on the opposite side of the fence politically to most hunters. And he was a little bit worried about meeting up with me and chatting about it. I'm like, look, man, I don't care about the politics side of stuff. You seem like a cool guy. You seem to enjoy bow hunting, and you're upset about the issue that I'm upset about. So come chat about it. And so that was a pretty cool little conversation.
Yeah, and that's enough of like a common interest. Like he likes food. He likes getting the food himself.
Yeah.
And he uses a tool to do it. Like, who cares? Like, plenty of the farmers that I hunt for, I'd say quite a few of them, I'd call them greenies, but they're this different kind of greenies. Yeah. They don't want the invasive animals on their land. They want to return it back to just being what it was. And yes, I think trying to find common ground rather than finding differences is going to get you a long way. And yeah, I've found friends that way through hunting. Like, yeah, great. Just the other day, I saw a post in the group, and I saw the type of country that I kind of hunt, and I was like, no, I'll reach out to this guy because he had a big mob of red deer. And I was like, I'm chasing a big mob of red deer at the moment. It looked similar, and I wrote to him and I was like, hey man, I messaged you, like I think we're hunting in like similar areas, and like people were laughing at my comment, like I'm trying to steal this guy's property or something. And I messaged him like, I think I am. And I told him first. Yeah. I'm like, I think you're in this area. And he wrote back to me and he was like, yeah, I am. And then we kind of worked out we're probably less than a kilometre from each other, our properties. But he doesn't hunt deer. He's just a pig dogger. He doesn't own a rifle or a bow or anything. So we just got chatting, and I was like, how are the dogs? How many pigs are you getting? There's a lot of pigs in the area at the moment. Then after probably 20 minutes, he's like, man, like whenever you want, come on out and like shoot these deer. Like, I was like, oh, okay. It's like just like that. And like, I see so many people all the time in the group, like, oh, pig doggers are this and they're that, and bow hunters are the worst, and rifle guy. And like man, like I love pig doggers. They don't hunt deer, they hunt pigs. Like, they give you information, they'll give you tips about areas, and I do the same with them. And I've shown him, like, these are the pigs I'm getting in this area. And yeah, we had a mad chat, and then in probably a couple of months, he's going to take me out and go shoot some deer. Like,
That's awesome.
Crazy what you can do when you just try and find common interests rather than hating people because they do things differently to you. Right.
Yeah, push aside egos, and yeah, find common interests. And that seemed to be a thing that I've spoken about a lot today with, the property owner, the guy that I did the podcast with, is just the egos when it comes to some hunters just wreck it for everyone. Where you can use these social media platforms to go hunt awesome different places. Like I wouldn't have been able to go hunt that area and shoot that beautiful red stag if it wasn't through social media. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, it has its bad sides. Like I see that every day because I'm the admin in there and I'm deleting crazy comments and declining posts of people doing ridiculous things that are probably illegal. And yeah, I see all that, but then there is so much positive. I've done the same thing. I saw some country looked similar, wrote to the guy and was like, hey, this property looks pretty similar to one I hunt on. Turns out we hunt on the same property.
yeah,
We
beautiful.
were like, now we're mates. Chat. I haven't met him in person, but we will meet one day. We're going to go hunt on the property together. But yeah, we look after the lady. She lives by herself. We exchange like videos and pictures that we find on the trail cameras. I'm like, I found this scrape up here, and we give each other intel. Like working together like that, you get so far, and that's what I'm really into now.
Yeah, that's
It's
it.
all about working with other people and just trying to build it all together. Like there'll be bad eggs for sure, but I think there's way more good people out there than you think there are.
It is, and you shouldn't judge someone just on the type of hunting, whether you agree with, pig dogging, whether you agree with bow hunting or not, whether you agree with rifle hunting or thermals, or like just like the debates that go on about thermals and spotlights these days is just absolutely crazy. Yes, people, if they do shoot something under thermals and spotlights, I personally believe they should be like, hey, I've shot this under spotlight or I've shot this under thermal. Yeah, cool. You've shot it. That's cool. Like you've said how you've done it, but it's when someone posts a picture of a stag on last light, or it's pretty dark and they're standing there under a bright torch beam, and everyone's just throwing out assumptions. It's just take the word of the hunter. If it turns out he's lying, well, how does it really affect you? Just move on.
Yeah, they're the only one that looks silly. And yeah, I'm the same. Like I didn't grow up with too much hunting in my family. My nan used to hunt for food, so she would had like a little Lithgow 12, Model 12, I think it's called. It's a little 22. But they'd catch the train out west from us and just carry the gun with them and then go shoot rabbits and bring them back for food.
That's amazing.
And like they did that like kind of to survive as well. Like that was pretty important for a lot of people to be able to do that. And yeah, and she used to tell me stories, but I wasn't really that into it. And I'm in the Blue Mountains and it's like greeny central here. You can't even talk about guns up this way. But we're in some great areas for hunting, like north, north, south, and west of us is all good hunting areas. So yeah, I just started like that and just got into it. And my dad and my brother and got some family in as well. And then it just took off. But I didn't have those, I don't know, older people or club members or anything telling me like, oh no, we don't, we only hunt with hounds, and other people, they do it wrong, or bow hunting's unethical and stuff like that. So I just came in it with an open mind of like, this is cool. Like, what do you do and how do you do it? And like, that's interesting. Like, yeah, I have no interest in hunting pigs with dogs at all. It does not interest me, doesn't excite me, nothing. But if it's a legal, legitimate way of hunting, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Like, I'll back it as hard as I can. And I do that in the group. I've got a good relationship with the guys from the Australian Pig Dogging Association. They kind of help me out with like what's ethical and what isn't, and what they want pig dogging to be displayed as. So I take a lot of advice from them because I don't know, I just see a dog and a pig and then a guy grabs it and I'm like, I don't know, is this right? Like, is this how you do it? Is this the right thing? Like, So slowly learn over time. And yeah, the rifle was mad, but then one day me and my brother went out for a hunt and there was some deer. We saw some red deer and then we're like, cool, there they are. And I shot two, he shot one. And then we're like, sweet. We're like, what now? Like it was just all a little bit too easy. And not that like it's always like that. Sometimes it's hard, but thought, oh, maybe I'll give something else. Maybe I'll give the bow a go. Like those guys seem pretty crazy. So then I got the bow and like now I'm mad on that as well. Like still use the rifles all the time, but now I'm thinking like, yeah, the bow is now next level in stalking. Like I thought my stalking was pretty good. It's terrible to what it needs to be. Like to get, because I can't shoot more than like maybe 25 meters at the moment. That's where I think I'm an ethical shot at. Like I'm confident at that distance, yep. But I've only been doing it for a year, so, and I've only shot one rabbit at 11 meters, and that's it. So,
that's awesome, man.
So I'm not experienced at all, but yeah, I think if it was 25, I'd be pretty cool taking a shot. Over that, I'm just going to let it go. I'm not interested until I've got a couple more years under my belt and can start really dialing it in.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's been such a good learning curve because I thought rifle was it, and then I saw this bow thing, and now I'm just down a different rabbit hole.
Yeah, the great thing about bow hunting is that it makes you a better rifle hunter.
Yeah.
So you're paying attention to more sign. You're getting closer with the rifle. Like it's very unlikely. Like it's very unlike me to, take a shot over 200 meters with a rifle. Most of my deer shot with a rifle were under that, within bow range. But I take the bow out and I can't get close to him. I take the rifle out and I shoot him at 40 meters,
Yep, take them both.
Yeah, but it's awesome fun, and it's always good to learn other disciplines when it comes to hunting. I haven't done too much pig dogging. I've done it in New Zealand, and they're just a whole nother species over there. Those boys just absolutely crazy running around the scrub in the hills.
It's like a rite of passage for them over there. They're mad into it. I forget the guy's name. There's a guy over there that I watch that does it of Clay Tall Stories.
Okay.
His name is. He was an interesting dude because he used to take out like young kids that don't have father figures in their life. So he'd just take them out and take them like dogging for the day in the forests and the pines and stuff. He's mad. You'd make these little clips and you'd see the kids, and he makes them carry them out themselves, and they've got to gut them and they've got to do all this stuff. I was like, oh, this is real kind of, rite of passage, like learning the ways. But that's ingrained in their culture over there. That's really cool.
That's so good. So briefly touched on, how you got into hunting. How old were you when you started?
Oh, probably like early 20s. So, which I think is probably late for like, I don't know. There's a bit of there's a divide that I see. Well, not a divide, but a difference that I see is you either grew up with it because you're on a farm and you're in the country and all that. But then there's all these people now that are in the cities and maybe they got a weekender out, they got some land or they got some friends. And people are getting into it later in life. Yeah. And I think that's something that didn't happen as much previously, but now it's, I see middle-aged people just getting, and then they go crazy into it. They get like really into it and like reading up on stuff and it's pretty cool to see. But I was a little bit later, I think, than what most people were, but I've been trying to make up for it. I've been going out as much as I can.
That's amazing. You said you're in the Blue Mountains and you mentioned that your grandmother had a Lithgow. Have you been up to the Lithgow factory?
I haven't, no. I've been past it and I've seen it a zillion times, but I haven't done the tour or anything. But that gun, actually, that little 22, we still hunt with that, and it is deadly accurate, and it's iron sights. There's no scope or anything on it. my dad carries it around, and yeah, if we see rabbits or whatever, he pops them with it. It's such a good little gun, and I don't even know how old it would be now, but yeah, they probably bought it in like the 60s, I'd say, something like that. Maybe early 70s, but yeah, probably the 60s.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it is such a good gun. So I think one of my brother's got a Lithgow, but I think eventually I'll have to get one just as another thing. I'm like, I'll get that and then I'll pass that down to my son, kind of thing, and keep that little tradition going.
Yeah, I don't think they have the tours open for general public, but if you can squeeze in there through someone that works there, it's a pretty cool place, and it's just rich with history. Like I knew really nothing about Lithgow before I had Matt Jones on the podcast, and then when I did the tour, it just, like, I'm not a car guy. I'm not really, into all of that stuff, but walking around the factory, I'm just like, oh, this is wicked. Like, I don't really get into mechanics and machinery and all of that, but it was, yeah, very impressive how, he was explaining that, there's 110, 115-year-old machines that they still use from when they originally started the factory up. Yet that 115-year-old machine will be right next to, the top range, whatever machine it is for this day and age, and they're both working together. It's so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I will have to do it. I'll go chat to them. I'm sure they'll be happy if I post something in the group about it or that, and I'll try and twist their arm and get in there.
Yeah, no,
'Cause I saw, yeah, the guy who owns Naya own it, and they were actually going to set up a place nearby, and I was chatting to them because I was hoping to get a job with them. I was like, this would be cool, like working for Naya and Lithgow and all that, and it's not too far from me, but yeah, it didn't quite happen because they were going to move. I think they were going to put their headquarters or something down here, and then they changed or something like that. But yeah, it'd be a really cool place.
Yeah, and having something like that in the area that you are, and our mutual friend Cody, I know you've been chatting to him a little bit, but that whole area is just so beautiful. Like when I was up there, Cody's going on, oh, we're in a bit of a drought. It's a bit dry at the moment. Everything's still green. I'm like, what are you talking about, mate? It's there's no feed in our paddocks.
Yeah, and especially that kind of area you're in is like, it is quite like a wet area. My brother was out the other night with my dad. They shot a pig out there because the pigs at the moment are just crazy. All sort of west of the Blue Mountains, man. They're everywhere. Like we were parked out looking one time, and we were just on the road before we even got close. I was chatting to a lady. She wanted me to just pop in. She had an Airbnb, and she's like, "Yeah, there's pigs on my property." I was like, "Yeah, cool." So we went in there. I said hi. She's got probably less than half an acre. I was like, "Oh, there's not much I can do here. Like, I don't think you realize like what a 308 sounds like. This is not what you're after." I was like, "But we're on all the properties around you." I was like, "We'll look after you." But yeah, even people nearby were just walking by, and they're like, "What are you guys doing?" I'm like, "Because we've got like got all our gear on and everything," and we're like, "Oh, we're chasing pigs," and they're like, "Oh, we were just walking this morning," and they were just running in front of us on the road when we're walking the dog. Yeah, and they're everywhere, and yeah, the ground is so wet, they're just flipping over like half-meter blocks of ground, and it's really tough because one of them, they've got Angus cattle on it, and it's just wrecking all their feed.
Yeah.
And some of these areas will be 50, 60 meters long, 20, 30 meters wide, and the whole area is just trashed. Like, that's going to take a long time to come back again.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like being up at Cody's, seeing all the damage that they do. Not being able to see the actual pigs themselves because I'm not having really any luck finding pigs while I'm up that way. They all seem to disappear pretty quick when I'm around. Which is, yeah, Cody keeps going on how he's got such a pig problem, but I rock up and I see nothing apart from the damage that they leave behind. So
they move they move a lot. Like they're always on the move. Yeah, and we won't see them for a bit, and then they're back again, and then there's a different mob, and yeah, they're funny. They're nothing like deer. They're really interesting. I kind of like hunting them because I find them to be quite clever. They got good noses. They see you coming, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's fine. You don't get them in South Australia much.
There is pigs. There used to be a big population on Kangaroo Island just off the coast, but I think they've pretty much got that under control. Uh, Years ago, I did a few trips down there looking for them. Only found dead pigs. It seems to be the story of my life when I'm chasing them. I find the dead ones, not the live ones. Um, and I've heard reports of a few moving down from Broken Hill to the Flinders Ranges. So when it gets dry up Broken Hill way, they tend to move down. But yeah, it's getting access for them. You know, there's probably spots on the border that have them as well. But you know, even driving up to New South Wales, going through the best country there is for pigs. I seen one dead one on the side of the road when, everyone's like,
Yeah.
oh, you see pigs crossing here and pigs crossing there, and just no luck.
Yep. I'm a bit like that with deer. Like, I'll always be looking out the window every time we go hunting. And like, I know the deer are on some of these properties, and I never see deer from the car window, like when we're just driving along. And then I see people put up photos all the time in like similar areas. Oh, I saw these deer today. I'm, oh man, like, what am I doing? Like, am I just not be driving too fast? Or, yeah, I never see it. I will see pigs on the side. I'll see goats and stuff, but yeah, never. Oh, yeah, rare. I've probably seen a handful of deer while driving.
That's
So
crazy.
weird. Yeah, and like I'm out there all the time.
So just out of Adelaide, you've done a few trips down to Adelaide, haven't you? You've got some
Yeah, my
family down here.
family's from there. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've driven the Hay Plain. I've driven below it. I've driven Melbourne. I've done every way to get across there.
Yeah, so driving up the freeway up into the hills from Adelaide, like just going up there, 15 minutes away from the city centre, almost maybe 20 minutes, and there's deer on the side of the roads up there, and I'll be doing deliveries up that way, and I'll have an offsider in the truck, and be like, oh, there's a deer on the side of the road, there's a deer, 600 meters up the road, up the hill there, there's a deer sitting under that tree, and they're like, how do you see that? I'm doing 100,
Yep.
100 up the freeway.
Yep. But yeah, you're definitely looking. I'm always looking out the window, like even just for anything. I just like seeing stuff. But yeah, it's pretty fun. You see deer there. They're such strange things to see, and people don't believe you. I've told people at work, like, went out and got these photos of these deer, and they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Yeah, we deer in Australia." Like, they don't even know they exist.
Yeah.
Unless you're from like weird areas. Like we have a lot in Western Sydney. Like you can go to some pretty very well populated places, and there's just deer in the little creek systems and walking down the road. Yeah, they seem to be. I think they've been pushed. They've been squeezed because they were there when it was farmland, and now they're still there, but they've got no escape. So they're just stuck in these like urban environments now. It's not even peri-urban or anything. They are just like little houses or mansions.
Yeah,
It's very odd.
there's a few good Facebook posts that you see on the page that pop up. It's just like, oh, there's this stag in my backyard. I'm having a coffee, and big rooster stags just walking through
Yeah.
someone's backyard. Everyone's like, why
Yeah,
don't you have a bow? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?
yeah. And a lot of the places you can't. You
Yeah,
can't do anything about them. Like you get in trouble, or yeah, you shot Bambi or something, and it'd be a big problem. Yeah, I've seen Wollongong are having a lot of issues with that now. They've always been pretty highly populated down there, but I've seen a big push. I think a lady got attacked by one recently, so yeah, there was a big push down there. But I don't know if they keep doing things like South Australia banning bows. Like those blocks are perfect. I've got one now that's a bow only block. You can't have firearms on it just because of the leasehold and the owners, and it's a bit of a tricky situation. And they've had guys out there before blasting, and
yeah,
yeah, the neighbours have called, and then it's just become, it's not against the law at all. It's just become like a bit of social political issue for the owners to deal with, so they've kind of banned it. But yeah, that's kind of the way it's going. And I'm telling the farmer, I'm like, I'm trying hard, man, but you've got an open field and they're standing in the middle of it and they're coming back in the dark, or they're going out in the dark. I'm like, this is pretty hard. And if I just had a rifle, like, I could take them all out for you. But you can't. So, and there's a lot more of that now. And I think the populations are only going to grow because of it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, South Australia now with the bows gone, all those little blocks that people weren't using rifles on, they're just doing nothing now. So what's stopping them? You can't shoot helicopters off the back of someone's house either. So I don't know what their plan is.
I don't know. I think our government would try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to come up with some kind of bait or something. I don't know.
From what I've heard, that's very, very near from a few sources, which is not good. Briefly touched on.
Doing 1080 or something.
No, they've developed a whole new bait, and it's possibly going to be approved in South Australia very soon.
Yeah,
which is
for us.
Yeah, it's a touchy subject, but I don't know all the facts, so I don't want to get into it. And apparently the Invasive Species Commissioner listens to the podcast. So, hey, if you want to come on and chat about all this stuff, if you're listening, send us a message. I've got some things I want to hash out with you.
Yeah, that'd be good. Like, similar thing, like, it seems crazy, but we are kind of on the same team. It's just the politics get in the way of it. Like, you guys want them gone, and like, that's your job. But at the same time, we want them gone, or we want them to be managed well so we can eat them. I don't see a problem. I don't know why we can't work together, but politics gets in the way, and then it all falls apart.
It does, but hunters are their own worst enemy. I've been chatting about it a lot lately on a bunch of different podcasts that are coming up. They would have been dropped by the time this episode comes out, but it's just like, people letting deer go to shoot a big stag or a big buck. They could have shot, 5 does, but they choose to let all those does walk and then just shoot a stag. Or, they might go out 10 times and get 1 deer when, we should be taking 1 or 2 deer every time we go out. If the opportunities present itself. When it comes to the government side of stuff and the Invasive Species Commissioner and that type of mentality doesn't work for them, and that's why they don't want to work with hunters, because we have that, in general, mentality to let stuff walk rather than shoot it, because we're waiting for that bigger deer. So we're not really doing much for populations, where if we were going out and shooting 4 or 5 deer every weekend, they'd probably want to work with us more. Yeah,
no, I agree, definitely. I think what Australia has missed, because they're not our animal, they have come from other countries, is we've missed this, like, management of them. We don't really have much hunter management. I know there's some groups that do it, but it's not ingrained in our culture like it is with the Americans, it is with the New Zealanders, the English. Yeah, we're missing this management component. And yeah, I did a post the other day where I do our Trail Cam Tuesday, where you just put up your photos, your videos that you've got. And I've got probably, I think it's around 19 or 20 red deer all just playing in this one wallow. Yeah. And it's crazy to watch. And there were 2 comments. The first 2 comments was, let them go, let them grow. And the second one was shoot them all. I was like, yeah. I was like, that's Australian hunting. And I wrote back to both of them, and I was like, you're both kind of right. I was like, but I think it's somewhere in the middle. Is I've already shot 3 does out of this group, and I'm going to keep shooting does every now and again to bring the numbers down. 1, because the farmer doesn't want them, and 2, I want to keep them around. But I think having 20 or so, with majority of them being females, and I've only found 1 really big stag and 1 sort of smaller satellite stag that hangs around. was like, I don't think the numbers are quite balanced. So I think we need to bring the does down, let the little ones grow, so they become, a good size to eat as they mature and we can harvest them. But yeah, I was like, I just saw that really quickly, and I was like, yeah, that is exactly what Australia is. It's just polar opposites of the way we do it, and I think you need to take, I think you need to think about each property that you're on, and I have a different style for everyone I'm on. And that's usually according to the rules of the owner, because I talk to them when I first get there and we set out a plan of like, what's the problem? Because that's why I'm here, is to solve some kind of problem. Otherwise, you wouldn't want me here. And yeah, most of the time it's eradicate everything you possibly can, because it's going to be pigs, foxes, that kind of stuff that cause a lot of problems. And then some of them will have a bit of a plan of like, no, I don't want you shooting all the deer, because people come here and they hunt them and they eat them. One guy shot 2 deer once, and the owner was quite unhappy with him because he didn't take all the meat. And I thought, that's cool. Like, that's a good management plan. They're not overrun in this area. You're keeping them there so people can get food. But I think the mob that I have here at the moment is a bit too big. But yeah, it is a weird balance of, what do I want to do? What's the government, or, and these invasive people, what do they want you to do? What are the general public thinking? What's the property owner want? Like, if most of my owners ever saw me and there was a pig and there was a deer next to it and I shot the deer, they'd probably tell me to never come back again. Like, yeah, and those hierarchies are pretty strict, because it's a problem and I'm there to fix problems for them. And yeah, if you're just waiting for that big one and letting stuff go, then they're not interested in that happening. And I think that's why I've been fairly successful in getting properties now. I'd have to be somewhere between 15 and 20, I think. And some of them I'm sort of passing on to other people now, because I just can't keep up with them. Some of the less productive ones. But yeah, I think that's the thing, is you've got to let go of all that and lose the ego and just step on and say, like, what do you think? Like, this is your land. And then I kind of steer them as much as I can into the management of deer side of things. Pigs, I guess you could just shoot them all day and you'll never really get rid of them. She understands that now. I think in the beginning, some of them thought I was going to come in and get rid of all of them. And I'm like, you see the little ones, like, they grow fast. I can't keep up with this. Like, that's where I think we need other people to actually help us. We need pig doggers.
Yeah.
We need traps. If baits are a thing, although never a big fan of baits, but you need a coordinated approach on animals like that.
Yeah,
get out of control.
If we're all doing our little part, it all comes down well. Like, Victoria's got a pretty good system when it comes to all of that on public land. They keep somewhat of a record of how people do every year, and they give you the percentage of does versus, hinds versus stags and bucks taken on the different species, which is always good to hear. And if we can keep that number above, where they're going to, we're taking a percentage out before they get into really, really problem numbers, they won't have to send in helicopters and they won't have to send in thermal shooters and all of that stuff. So, yeah, it's something, like I've said, I've been pushing on quite a bit lately, but, maybe don't pass up that first doe, drop that first doe, and unfortunately, whether, you eat it or not, it's just one of those things that we have to do for conservation, and I hate saying, shoot something and leave it, but, if you're having to take several animals out at a time, you can't always recover all of that meat, and, some farmers just want you to eradicate rather than shoot and take meat as well, so.
Yeah, but I think they have that opinion because they've been left to get out of control. So now they're just fed up with them. They're causing a problem. They're hurting livestock, or they're wrecking fences. That they've got an issue and they need it fixed. So they go down that route. But I think you can slowly change their perspective after you show them, like, hey, I shot this many, I'm shooting the girls because I want to lower the population for you. And then they start seeing, like, oh, okay, like the problem is less of a problem, and now we have a plan. Now I'm confident in you, and they can see where it's going to go. But I think we've done too much of let them go.
Yeah.
And now they've gone too far. And if we don't bring them back ourselves, there's a zillion government agencies ready to go. Everyone wants to get paid to fix the problem. And what would you rather? Would you rather shoot them, or do you want helicopters to shoot them, or they develop something else that's worse? Like, I would rather us hunters shoot one and maybe you have to leave it, or maybe you take it and it just is dog meat or something because you've got too much. But I'd rather that. Like, I'd rather us being the solution than any of these other solutions, because none of them look good to me.
Yeah,
especially for us.
That's it. I've got a possible access to another property coming up, and the person that I potentially getting the access through is saying that the farmer's fed up with deer. He has guys out there only shoot bucks. He's very tempted to let the choppers on very soon. I'm like, hey, no, don't talk like that. I'll come up and try and do some spotlighting missions, and we'll just drop as many as we can to get the numbers down to show the farmer that he doesn't need the choppers out there. So
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, but then if you put that up online, people will be like, oh, why'd you do that? Why'd you waste them? It's like, well, what's the alternative? Like, yeah, it sucks. It still is a bit of fun. Like, you can still have fun shooting them or whatever, but it's not what I guess in my mind call hunting as traditional hunting goes. But if we want to keep hunting, we're going to have to do some shooting to keep it within, and I guess within our community, and not have these other invasive species, crazy guys coming in and thinking up harebrained ideas to fix these problems for us. So yeah, I'd love to see hunters getting after it a bit more and dropping some where it's needed. Like, if you've got a really small population of deer, you can manage them, keep them in control, and they're not going to hurt the bush like they say they do. They might rub one or two trees and they put a couple of footprints on the ground. It's really not that bad. But yeah, if you see some of these videos, I've seen some guys down Jindabyne, like down the Snowies and stuff, and see 300 or 400 in a mob. Like, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like,
that's insane.
That's out of control now. That's not management now. Now those numbers need to come down big time.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just pest control. When it comes down to it, you just have to get the numbers down and just look at it as purely pest control. Whether it's like, looking at you shooting as like filling kangaroo tags or shooting pigs, like that's just purely what it is.
Yep. Yeah, and it's unfortunate, but it's all part of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we almost need to we need to normalize a bit of that, which I'll definitely start to do. I've probably haven't done it as much as I should, but I think ADA, talking to someone, and they were going to do prizes, I think, for whoever shot the most does, to try and bring some numbers down. It's cool. A great idea. Yeah, like, why not? If you're in a good area and there's too many, go for it. And then they got prizes for it. They're trying to incentivize people to actually do it. So hopefully.
Yeah, one of the conservation mobs in New Zealand, they do a big goat hunt every year, and it's to drop goat numbers around New Zealand, and it's a cool concept, and it's run by one of their conservation departments. So that would be awesome if that like one of the game authorities did that, to get people out there stoked. How many does can you shoot, or
Yeah, I like the pig competitions, like the Ivanhoe pig comp. I think there was another one on recently. I've forgotten where that is, but yeah, they do them like the biggest boar and the most that they got. And, there's always something for the younger guys. And yeah, like, I know it's never great in the media, like, oh, there's a competition for killing things, but I think if you can push that conservation part of it, it's a good thing for us, and the numbers are there.
Yeah.
Like the Australian Pig Dogging Association, with their numbers, they're showing that we are taking millions of pigs every year. It's pretty incredible, the numbers, and I'm sure it could be more than that. Like, you're never going to get everyone to register them, but we are putting in a lot of work.
No, that's awesome. You know, we've spoken a lot about Hunting Australia. How did you get involved? You know, it was ran for many years by Gibbo, and now you're the head honcho on it.
Yeah.
So how did this all come about?
Yeah, so it kind of happened in a weird way. I was putting up posts in the group because I was like a member and really enjoyed it. And yeah, I was hunting the state forest and would put up a group, and I was so stoked. You know, I got a little deer or whatever, and then it just wouldn't get approved. And I was like, oh, come on, like, I want people to see this and I want to show everyone, like, I got this little deer, you know, it was like a yearling or something. And then I ended up messaging some of the admins, like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, we're just flat out, like, there's so many posts. And then it sort of got to that point where, like, I think Gibbo was quite unwell. And then I just sort of left it for a bit. And then after he passed, or maybe around that time, I just said, well, if you want some help, like, put me on as a moderator and I'll help. So, yeah, they put me on, and it was probably a year or so. I was sort of looking after it fairly full on. And I think it was really hard for the other guys. Like, they were all best mates with him. So I think, and I'm talking of just from my perspective, like, I didn't know Gibbo. You know, I've spoken to him a couple of times online, but we weren't mates. Like, I obviously wish we were, but and I was sort of removed from the whole situation. So yeah. I think they were pretty upset and just didn't have, you know, like, the passion of the project was his project, and now with him gone, it just maybe wasn't quite there. So yeah, I kept doing it, and then eventually it was just me sort of looking after it, with a couple of others just helping me out here and there, pointing me in the right direction of, you know, what we allow and what we don't, and how we want the group to go. And then eventually it was just me, just looking after it. And yeah, it was pretty full on for a while because I had had a bit of experience in it, but yeah, once it was just me doing it, it's like, oh, okay, like, I got to make decisions. Like, is this ethical or not? Or is this something we want to show in the group? And it's hard because, like, whatever you do or don't do, people out there 100% disagree with you. So you kind of got to make a decision and then just stand on it, and then hope that you did the right thing. And if you didn't, learn from it. But yeah, I think I'm in a pretty good rhythm now. I'm very, very strict now in how I think of if it's legal and not even if it's ethical. If you're doing it legally and it fits within the law, yeah, we allow it. And I'm trying to stay as close to that line as I can. It's a hard line to balance, because sometimes you'll see people put up pictures of kookaburras they've shot, and straight away, yeah, people jump on that, like, you're an idiot, you can't do it. And I'm like, well, I've actually found out in Tassie you can. Then they're not native to Tasmania. I never knew this, but you can do that.
Tasmania and Western Australia, I think.
Could be, yeah. And then the same, you know, like with the wallabies, I just approved a post tonight of a guy that's got a video of him hunting wallabies. And it's funny to see, like, people jump up and down, like, how could you do that? That's wrong. And I'm like, hang on, you're a hunter. Like, you shoot stuff too. Like, how you've got a funny line in the sand here. And I'm like, he's doing everything legally. Like, oh, it's not a good look. And I'm like, well, maybe we need to educate people and let them know that this is okay. And the reason we do it is because I think it's the Bennett's wallaby. Yeah, that's not meant to be there. So yeah, it is a good thing that they're getting rid of them. I think education is the big one. So yeah, it's still tough. I still get in disagreements with people, but in the end, sometimes I just say, well, like, sorry, man, like, there's 100,000 of you.
Yeah.
I can't keep you all happy. Like, someone somewhere is going to be unhappy about this decision. So, yeah, I think that's the thing. If it's legal, I let it go through, and then if it's bordering on that line of like, is this ethically right, or does this show hunting in a good light, then I sort of look into it a bit more. I've got a good network of people now where if it's something bow hunting, I go to this guy. If it's dogs, I go to this guy. If it's a legal question, I go to these guys.
Yeah.
Like, because I can't, like, people say, like, but it's you, like, how can you approve this post? And I'm like, but I don't know everything. I
Yeah.
don't know all the laws for Western Australia. Like, I only know New South Wales stuff. I can only know so much about all of this. So I've got a good network of people that help me. But yeah, I guess it's tough, but I love it.
That's good. Yeah, you almost need to put together like a Green Lantern council behind you, so that you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
just forward a post to and say, hey, is this a yes or a no for this state for
yeah.
this activity? Rah rah rah.
Yeah, I've got that now, and I've got some really good people.
It's good.
And through the group, it's like it's crazy who you can meet. Like Robert Borzak called me and just told me all about the plan for his conservation, and I was like, a politician calling me? Like,
Robert's a good
I'm a
dude.
dude I'm a dude with a Facebook group. Like, it seems so weird, but
I know
I
that
guess
feeling.
there's a lot of influence in the group. I guess there's a lot of people in there, and we all like to talk, and it is that's what I find different. There's a lot of pages out there, but the pages are more a one way, me speaking to the community. But this is a group, anyone can make a post. If you're a
Yeah.
member, you can make a post in that group. So that's what I really love about it, is it's not a one way. I'm just another member as someone else. Like, I can get rid of some things if stuff goes a bit haywire, but other than that, it's just a big group of people,
Yeah.
and I think that's pretty cool. And for the most part, everyone in there is pretty good, pretty good. Like, especially with young guys, you see some young kids, like those pictures, people with their first deer, any women getting into hunting, they all get like such positive comments, and it is like. And I sort of laugh the same way you just did, as like, oh yeah, what are they going to say? Like, but no, like, it is pretty cool. Like, you see a lot of people in there, like, this is awesome. Like, good on you for like getting into it, and everyone gets around them and really supports them. So yeah, there is a lot of good out there, and that's sort of what keeps me going in it, because there's also some crazy stuff, but sometimes that's fun too.
Yeah, if only every post was as positive as some of those posts where the women are posting their first deer or something that they've harvested, because that would have to be the most positive posts in the group, I'd say.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Anything family, anything first deer, anything women in hunting. Yeah, all that stuff. That stuff does really well. Yeah, they're probably all the most positive ones.
That's good.
You get like, and then I really like the other side of, like, everyone has their opinion, but I think it's also how you frame your question. If you're really lazy and you ask lazy questions, you get some pretty lazy answers. But if you want help in that group, like, there are some people out there with crazy knowledge, like stuff that's beyond me. Some of the people that do reloading and some of the bow hunting guys, like, the stuff they know is beyond what I will ever know. And it's so good to have them in there, because if you ask a real serious question and you want to know something and they can see that you're trying, like, you've just put that bit of effort in, people will come back with some very detailed answers for you, and they'll show you why they think that, and give you some great tips on it. So yeah, I guess that's my advice. If you want good answers, put some effort in and write a good question.
And don't argue the answers that you're given as well, because that
Yeah, yeah,
that just shows
yeah,
like you got too much ego.
yeah, and don't post and ghost. Like if you put a post up and people start answering it, like write back to them like, "Thanks for your comment, I appreciate it," or ask another question.
Yeah.
Then people will see like, "Oh, this guy's keen. Let's help him out," and people really jump on it. It's cool to see. But yeah, if you're lazy or if you, hey, can I hunt on your property somewhere? I want to shoot things. You know, I see stuff like that all the time, and I write back to those people now like, hey, you don't want this. Like, you don't want this kind of scrutiny because people are going to come at you because you haven't tried.
Yeah.
You just want somewhere to just go shoot stuff. I'm like, man, this is just lazy all the way around, and that's why you don't have somewhere to hunt because you just go on the lazy option.
Yeah, those guys, like I've got a guy that messages me, and he has for the last 10-ish years, and it's just always like he's always begging to come out, which is never a good thing. Like, don't beg another hunter to take you out. Wait for an invite.
Yep.
If the hunter thinks that you're going to be respectful, you fit his like, yeah. To hunt with someone, you have to kind of like gel together really well. And hunting can either make that or it can break that. I've seen it go both ways. But if, the person gets a bad vibe from you because you're begging and then you're getting messages and, they're putting posts up saying, it's unfair that, I can't get any properties, I'm giving it up, rah, 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 don't do those posts.
Yep. Yeah, I see people comment that a lot. Like, farmers will never let you on. And I'm like, man, I got too many now that I'm having to say no to them. I just had a message from a lady today, like telling me, hey, it's been a bit since I've seen you. Like, we've still got pigs. Like, come on down anytime. Like, she's let me have her house before when she's not there. Taken my family there and we've all hunted together. And, like, they want you. But you got to be the right kind of person at the same time. And yeah, if you've got that attitude already of farmers never let you on, you got no hope. You're never going to get something. And all the other people that don't have that attitude and are happy and outgoing people, they're the ones that are going to get them for sure.
Never play victim.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work.
One of my best properties that I hunt. Every time I go there, I have to spend. Well, I don't have to, but I get asked to come deal with the blackbirds. She has huge blackbird issue in her garden, and every time we're there, I have to go. Well, I don't have to, but I go sit in the garden for 15-20 minutes with the air rifle or with a 22 and try and hunt these blackbirds that are digging her up her garden. And like, I'll have coffee and cake at the farmhouse. But yeah, it's the hey, I get a message. If I haven't seen her or been up there, I get a message. Hey, the blackbirds are causing havoc again. Next time you're out, can you please come and sit in the garden for a bit and try and shoot one?
Yep, that's it. But that's what you do. You're there to solve a problem, and her problem is blackbirds.
Yeah.
And I didn't. Yeah, another thing. Like, I didn't even know blackbirds was a thing. But I don't really shoot birds. But like, I'm not against it. I just don't know anything about it. But yeah, like, that makes sense. Like, yeah, and sometimes you can't fix the problems. Like, some of them, they'll have problems with wombats. People have asked me to shoot them before, and then I'm like trying to let them know. I'm like, hey, you can't really do this. Like, you'd have to get a permit, or I don't even know how you would do it. I was like, but I'm not this guy.
Yeah.
Like, not the person you're after. I'm like, other stuff I'm happy for, but yeah, it's just that education thing. But yeah, blackbirds is cool. That's interesting. I've never shot anything like that with like an air rifle or.
It mixes it up. I'll go there with the shotgun or the 22 or the air rifle. Trying to get a blackbird, or like I'll go from a deer hunt or a fox hunt or rabbits, hares, and then go from that with there, and then sitting in a garden. They're sitting having coffee around the table. They're having friends and family pass through, and there's me fully camoed up, just laying in the garden with an air rifle,
sneaking through the bushes, through the roses. Yeah, but that's cool. Like, yeah, like and people will say like, oh, why would you waste your time with these birds? Like, you're helping the lady, you're obviously on a mad property, but at the same time, like, use that, like, practice your trigger, like, discipline, practice calming your heart rate, like, you make it worthwhile. Like, I don't know, just don't miss the opportunity to do something. Like, yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, that was my roots of hunting anyway, was, hunting pest pigeons in like on small farms with air rifles, and that's how I got into, that was how I practice. And then I'd shoot those
That's
pigeons.
cool.
I'd have to pluck and gut them, and my nan would cook them for me, and so like
Wow.
that's my roots of hunting as a kid. So, and then when I got
That's
proficient enough for
awesome.
that, Pop's like, all right, you can go shoot goats with me now.
Yeah. And like, yeah, imagine the skills you learned. Like, people overlook that. Like, I love rabbit hunting. I think shooting rabbits is the best. But yeah, people always want to go for the big one. But yeah, all those skills, all the fundamentals are in those little things, the little birds and the rabbits and all that. Yeah, that's where it's at.
Well, that's it. I had a conversation with the fella I went out with and did a podcast today. He's just like, I don't look at myself as a hunter, and he's telling me he's shot over 100 rabbits with a bow. I'm like, dude, I haven't even shot that many rabbits with a bow. That's freaking incredible. Like, you, whether I like it or not, just because you don't go hunting the big stuff, you are technically a hunter, especially taking,
Yeah,
that many
and a
rabbits with a
and a
bow. That's
decent one. Yeah, that's like, I've shot one with the bow, but yeah, if he's had taken 100, that's like, he's doing well at it as well. He's not just doing it. He's yeah, he's doing very well. But he probably just doesn't like that label, because that label's probably got some negatives
Yep.
for him. It's got probably a bit of like some redneck, and probably thinks that, all camoed up and, drinking beer and shooting off the top of a car kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's just or it's come with like the old Elmer Fudd or something out of the movies,
Yeah,
which is fine. But yeah, he definitely is a hunter.
definitely.
Yeah.
So, hunting Australia, you've got a lot of things in the works at the moment with it. Where's it going? What direction are you going, and where do you see it?
Yeah, it had. Yeah, so like, ever since I took it over, my main thought was like, yeah, like, I'll look after the group, I'll foster it, and I'll keep it going in a direction that I think, the guys that used to look after it would be happy with. Like, so yeah, I've kind of tried to always do that. And then once we hit, well, probably a bit before, but once I knew we were going to hit 100,000, I was like, this is now. It was always big, but I was like, we've hit that big number now. Like, now it's legitimately huge. So yeah, then I've been thinking, what next? Like, how can we make it into something bigger than what it already is? Because we are stuck within Facebook. You can bring things into us, your videos and whatever podcasts from outside, but we can't expand that much. So yeah, that's the next stage. So I set Hunting Australia up through the DPI, as an authorised hunting organisation. So you can now join us to get your R license. So if you want to get your R license and hunt New South Wales state forests, plenty of people, Victorians, probably some South Australians, and then a lot from Queensland as well. And then obviously all New South Wales get their license and come in and hunt our state forest, which is, I don't even know how many millions of acres or whatever it is, but it is huge, and there's hundreds of them. And I think, yeah, up with Victoria, it's just one of the best systems ever. DPI do such a good job of managing it. I chat with them every now and again if they need anything, and need something promoting or whatever, if there's been a change. And yeah, so we set ourselves up as that. So if anyone wants their R license, you need to join an authorised hunting club, and we are one of them now. So you can join us, and we've had some people do that. So that's pretty cool. And then with that R license, that can then become your genuine reason, in New South Wales for owning a firearm. So you join the club, you get your R license, you do the test. Once you've got your R license, you can then use that as your genuine reason and go in and get your firearms license, and then you can go get your firearms and go hunting in zillions of acres of just public land. It's just you and everyone else versus whatever's out there, and it's pretty cool. And you can see from what some of the people get, if you ever watch Aussie Bush Harvest, Profty, like those animals, a lot of his videos are on public land, and he has taken some absolute monsters. So if you put the time and effort in, you can get that from our public land. So yeah, I guess that's one of the things, is setting up as a club. And then we're doing giveaways as well. So each month we give away products. So it can be anything. Some of the people that have supported the group previously, I went to them first and said, like, would you like to now, continue on with supporting the group with these giveaways, and we'll build it into a club. And they've always been very excited because we've given so much back to them as well. So yeah, like Olight, Dog and Gun Coffee, Zero Tech Scopes, Spiker, all these guys have been with the group for a long time, and now we've kind of really cemented a good relationship with them. So yeah, giveaways like that. We've got one at the moment with Tim from On Target Hunting. So that's going to be with Tim 3 days public land around Mansfield, Victoria, and you're going to be out with him. He's just going to show you how to hunt public land. So if you're anything beginner, intermediate, this is perfect. It's going to run for this month, August. It'll be drawn at the end of the month, and you'll be out with him in the bush for 3 days, just learning from someone that's done this for like decades. So yeah, pretty cool.
That's amazing. So, yeah. Unfortunately, this episode will be out after that's given away, but good luck to whoever draws it. That's amazing.
Yeah, that I think next month is probably going to be something from Zero Tech Scope. So
beautiful.
Yeah, if you're hearing this in September, I can't say what they're doing, but I think they're getting some new product in.
Amazing.
And it will probably be something from them, which they've done it previously, and last time they gave away a scope, rings, and a spotting scope, and some merch as well. So it's pretty awesome. Like, that was a couple of grand's worth of gear,
Insane.
And they gave that away to one of the members. So yeah, we're doing that. We've set you up as well. So HC Podcast, if anyone puts that code in when they join, you get 10% off your first month. Or if you buy it for a year, you get 10% off that as well. And that goes for anything on the website. So if you want merch, we've got some hats, some shirts, stickers, just fun stuff like that. And then the last thing we're then doing is doing the Hunters Academy. So working with people in the industry that are experts in their field and designing training for us to learn from. So we're just kind of thinking of problems that we have, I guess, in our industry. It could be anything. Like, I started with a bow recently, and I got this bow and was like, I don't really know what to do with it. Like, I kind of get the idea, but I didn't really know what I was doing. Luckily, I had Apex Hunting from up in Brisbane. They set me up so well and got me set up, but then, they're a long way from me. They can't sort of teach me. So yeah, starting to think of these problems that people have, making, a bow hunting course on how to get started, or, little courses on that'll just be free as well, how to get your license in different states, how to hunt deer, how to butcher them, skin them, how to cut them all up, use every single piece of the entire deer. So courses like that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, there's sort of a lot of them are in the works at the moment. They take a long time to film, and working with people in all different states. So they're coming in and slowly building them. But as soon as they're out, we'll start putting them up. And yeah, some will be free, some will be paid. Obviously, if you want someone to spend, 5 or 8 hours of their time or whatever it is, you kind of got to pay for it. I think that's fair, but
Yep.
Especially when they've been doing it for 30, 40 years, it's fair enough. But yeah, so it can be anyone. And if there's people out there as well that have really unique skills, or have been doing things for a long time, they can reach out, they can work together. And I want that. I want Hunting Australia to be a place where you can come knowing nothing and then choose what you want, whether you want to go bows, rifle, dogs, whatever it is, or just shooting. And then you can learn, you can at least get into it in the right way, or at least get a good foot in the door. And then from there, you're off and you're confident then to make the right choices. And I'd love something as well on like the management of deer. I think that's what we're missing. And maybe I'll try and make that one free as well, and get as many people as I can to watch that, so we can start managing them properly.
I know a fella that you can collaborate with for the invasive species side of things that he would be very keen to work with you for that. Yep. So I'll pass you his details on and throw him under the bus like I always do. So,
awesome.
But yeah, that's exciting, man. You said that there will be a discount code for the podcast for people. I'll have all that up before this episode goes live, and I'll share it all with the episode as well. So if you're looking for that, look in the show notes or wherever I'm posting it on Facebook and Instagram. So you'll be able to find all that there. And there's some exciting stuff coming along with all of that stuff. And I also like how you've come up with your little character for your logos and stuff like that. That's pretty cool.
Stu the Stag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got another one for Pig Doggers as well, but I haven't quite launched that one yet. I've got to find a name for him too. But yeah, I just always thought, I'm like, oh, deer hunter. And I'm like, it would be funny if the deer was the hunter. But it is, yeah. It's just something silly. Why not?
Nah, that's cool, man. That's cool. Hey, speaking of deer, what would be your top 5 dream animals, anywhere in the world, money not being an issue?
My top 5, I think, would just all be deer.
Yep.
And I think they would just be in Australia.
Yeah, that's wicked, man.
I think that's what I want to get eventually. Really, I'd love to do it, just all public land, self-guided kind of thing. But I don't know if that would be even possible in my lifetime. I know some people have done it, and that's the pinnacle to me. But yeah, to hunt all species of deer in Australia, and without paying for them or anything, which is fine if you pay for them. All good, all to you. I have no issue with it, but I'd love to try and do that. It's a goal. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but I think it's at least something to aim for.
Hey,
and then I'll do it, and then I'll be like, oh, now I've got to do it with the bow. It'll never end.
I know guys that have done it both with bows and rifles, and it's crazy. I'm 2 species away from it with the rifle, and 3 species with the bows. I'm super keen.
Yeah, what do you got? Sambar and hog for the rifle left?
No, rooster and chittle.
Oh, really?
So I've taken a sambar, not a big stag.
Snake Island.
Yeah, I did Snake Island 2 years back.
Yeah.
Got a nice little hoggy there.
Yeah, that's mad.
But yeah, it's a cool thing. And sorry, it's 4 left with the bow. I forgot one of my species with the bow is an international species, so it doesn't count here.
Oh yeah. That's all right. That doesn't matter. But yeah, I think that I don't really have any interest in hunting overseas.
That's cool.
I like seeing it. I like seeing what people do. No issue with it at all. If you want to shoot tigers and hippos and lions and all that, as long as as long as you do it legally, I have no problem with it at all. But it's just not really on my bucket list. That's
That's
I just
cool.
really like deer, and I just really love hunting in Australia. I don't know enough to be able to hunt somewhere else yet. Like, I got so much work to do just on Australian stuff. to think about overseas at the moment. I'm not even almost there. Yeah.
No, that's great. Hey, speaking of hunting lions, tigers, and bears, how do you see the public views on hunting and hunters?
Yeah, I kind of see all sides. I think it's very mixed. Um, I think some people absolutely despise us, and I think it's almost fair enough because they only know what they know, and I probably dislike some people that I probably haven't put enough time into understanding. So I can get where they come from. I obviously don't think they're right, but I can see how they've come to that conclusion. Watching Hollywood movies, seeing these cartoons, and then just thinking of their own life, not being exposed to it at all. Um, yeah, if you don't grow up with it, then you've got to actually really want to do it. And then just being removed from the whole process. Meat is just something you get from the supermarket. It's not actually an animal. It's just a thing that you buy in a packet. So I can understand how they came to that conclusion. So yeah, I see those people. I see the people that are just sort of on the fence. They don't really care either way. They don't have an interest in doing it, but it's not something they would ever want to do. I got some friends like that, and they're all great people, but they just have no interest in hunting, and that's fine. I don't care if they ask me questions. I give them the best answer I can, and at least I think they can see that it's something that I enjoy, and they can see that I'm not what they thought I was going to be. I'm not running around the bush with like a semi-auto, just like shooting at stuff randomly. Although I would like to be running around the bush with a semi-auto, but
It'd be good for conservation side of stuff.
yeah, that's it. But it, yeah, they can see that it's not what they thought a typical hunter would be, and I think now they can see that, oh yeah, there's people that are doing their thing, and it's a hobby or it's a passion of theirs, and they're really into it, and they're doing it because they want the food or they really enjoy the lifestyle. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really have one set opinion on how people view us. I
That's good.
think all different people view us in different ways, and I think all of those people's viewpoints can be challenged or maybe changed in different ways as well. But it'll never happen if we just shout at people who think differently to us.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
and we do the same thing within our own ranks anyway. Like there's plenty of rifle hunters yelling at pig doggers and doggers running at bows and everything. So um, yeah, I guess that's my main thing is try and just understand each other and unite rather than just hating each other because we do things differently. Like I think training a dog to sniff out deer is like crazy. Like I can get my dog to sit and roll over and stuff, but I don't know how they get them to find and spot deer and stand still and not chase them and all that. I think it's incredible. I have no interest in doing it, but I think it's pretty cool. So I think if we can all start thinking a little bit, yeah, looking for commonalities, I think we'll all, even just in the world, I think we'll all do a lot better.
Yeah, 100%. There's all these things that we can meet in the middle with, whether it's, some of these animal rights activists that are pushing, anti-hunting narratives, a lot of them would meet in the middle if we just had a good conversation with them.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, like yeah. Even some of the hunters that I hunt for, I'm like, politically, we could not be further apart. Like, if they heard that I was chatting on the phone with Robert Borsak, like, they would fall over. But, like, there's so much we do have in common. Like, we both love the land that we have, and we want to look after it. And we don't want some of these predator animal, foxes or stuff, ripping apart natives. And yeah, there's a lot that we can if we just stop thinking about what we can't agree on. There's a ton that you can agree with people on, and yeah, and that can lead to some pretty great things.
Yeah, 100%. And, I think you covered my next question pretty well anyway. But, finally, what is hunting to you?
Yeah, hunting to me, I guess, is a an interest that then became a bit of a hobby and has now become a bit of an obsession. I think about it every single day, and I'm deeply involved in the group, so I'm seeing every type of hunting all the time. So I'm heavily exposed to, I guess, what's going on in Australian hunting. I don't. We have Americans try and join all the time. I tell them to go away. I don't even approve their stuff. I block them from the group. I could not care less about white-tailed deer in America. Does not interest me. I just love Australian hunting. Like that is my thing. So yeah, to me, and then there's all the other stuff. It's connection to the land. It's time spent with family. Some funny times, silly times, really hard work, big learning curves. So yeah, it means a lot of different things to me. But overall, I think it's a really positive thing, and it's been good for my life. Yeah, it's only been positive. There's no negatives that have. There's nothing that's negatively affected me through hunting. It's only been good. I've met a lot of people, and been to places that I never would have gone, and I've got to share that with some great people. So, yeah.
That's amazing, man. Sorry, my voice. It's been funny for weeks now. There's something going on down here in South Australia. It's just one of those coughs that are sticking around for most people. No, that's amazing, man. It's my favorite question of the podcast. I look forward to asking every single guest it, and just every single person I can relate to really well with their answer, and it's just awesome to hear. And one day I might go through each podcast and just clip out everyone's little what is hunting and put it all together as one audio track.
And it's cool because there's not really like a wrong answer.
There's not.
It's like, yeah, it's just whatever you enjoy, and yeah, it's great. Yeah, and it is cool that like people have different ideas on it. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't want everyone to be just shooting deer with rifles because there would be too many of us, and there wouldn't be enough for me. It's really cool that there's other people out there doing other things. It would just be boring. We're all just doing the same thing.
Exactly.
There's nothing interesting to it. I would love to see that. Every single different answer. That would be cool.
Yeah, I'll have to do it one day. It's popped into my mind a couple times, but it'd probably be an hour long of just hearing people's a mashup of what is hunting to you, and it's Look, everyone pretty much says the exact same thing, but just in their own unique words, which I find cool.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, and I just made that up. I had no idea what I was going to say. I hope it went all right.
Nah, that's the good thing about a podcast, man. That's why I don't do too much pre-planning. Like, people are like, "Oh, you're going to send me questions?" I'm like, "No, I want to hear your raw answers. I don't want you to be too studied up on it. It comes across too studied when it's like that. Where when it's raw like this, you've got the ums and the ahs and the yeps, and that it just makes it more real. Like just two people having a conversation.
Oh yeah. Raw, like that's way better. It's you actually get to see what people are, who they are, especially when it goes for an hour and a bit.
Yeah.
It's hard to fake it for that long.
Well, we've come to the end of the episode. I want to thank you lots for coming on. It's been something on the cards for a while now, and we've finally got it down. I absolutely love what you're doing with Hunting Australia and all the things that are coming through, and I do think that you're sharing all the positive stuff that comes across, posted. And I know what it's like running groups, and how much shit you have to decline, from sales posts to scammers to everything in between, just people ranting and bitching about, this and that and this and that. It's stressful, it's hard, and then you decline someone's post and you get a message from them saying, hey, why the hell did you do that? And then you have to explain to them why. You've got an arrow left in the animal, or you don't need to share a fox with the head blown off, all of this type of stuff.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, it's hard work and it's tricky, but I love it. And and I'm also like really open if people have other ideas. People have changed my mind since me owning the group, owning it, running it. And people have said, like, you got to think about this. And then I do, and they help me. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I can see your point of view. So, yeah, if people come with constructive criticism, I'm all for it. But, yeah, yelling at me or writing little messages isn't going to work.
Definitely not.
You got to remember, I'm also one of 100,000 people, so I can only read so much.
Yeah, it's hard to stay on top of groups. I've got a couple groups with just a couple thousand members, and that's hard enough. So I would hate to run something with 100,000. And yeah, you're doing an incredible job. You've been a great successor for the late great Gibbo, so it's great to see. And the page is over 100,000 now, which is just amazing. It just shows that the lifestyle is growing and more people are getting into it, from all backgrounds. It's great to see all different nationalities on there, men, women, children. It's just awesome to see.
Yeah, and that's what I think it is. Like, that is Hunting Australia. That's what we are. We're all different people doing all different things, and somehow we're all mostly getting along. It's pretty cool.
It's incredible, man. And that is, the peace is kept because there is lots of different mindsets and egos and everything else that comes with it. But yeah, thank you very much again for coming on. If people aren't on Hunting Australia, where can they find you? Where can they become a member?
Yeah, just go. If you want the group, it's obvious on Facebook. Just search for Hunting Australia. You'll find us. And if you want to go and see what our website is, it's just Hunting Oz, so huntingaus.com.au. And then, if you want to join, just use that code HC podcast and get 10% off and be a member of the club. And we're just going to keep building it. And if you've got any ideas to make it better, I'm all for it. So let me know.
A Hunting Australia rendezvous in a big paddock somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's coming up. Like, I think we need to start doing some things where we start meeting each other. And like, so many friendships have been built through the group, for me as well. But I know so many people have reached out and helped each other and become friends. So yeah, I'd love to one day see some more meetups around the country.
Yeah, I've joked about it with Ian from Hunter's Campfire, but over in the States, you've got the Mountain Men Rendezvous, that where you just get thousands of people come up, and you get all the brands, and they have cooking demonstrations, butchering demonstrations, but it would be just like just in the middle of a paddock somewhere, everyone's camped out, drinking, fires going.
That's mad. Yep, that'd be cool.
That would be, it would be like, instead of like Denny Ute Muster, but like a hunting expo camp out.
Yeah. Yep. That'd be sick. I'm all for it.
Sweet as. Well, again, thank you for coming on. Much appreciated. And look forward to what the group has in store for the future, man.
Yeah. Thanks heaps. Good to chat to you in person.
Likewise. Catch ya. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Hunting Connection Podcast. We hope you've enjoyed our discussions and gained valuable insights into the world of hunting, fishing, and the outdoors. To stay connected with us and never miss out on an update, please be sure to follow us on social media, all at Hunting Connection Podcast. We appreciate your support and would love for you to share the podcast with your friends and family. Don't forget to tag us in your hunting photos on social media and let us know about your experiences. Your feedback is invaluable to us, so please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Together, we continue growing and delivering more captivating episodes for all hunting enthusiasts. Stay connected, stay informed, and keep pursuing your passion for the hunt. Until next time, happy hunting.